I know there was wee spells in the first half. We can look towards. I know that, mate. But that's if we're gonna play like that sometimes, and we can still get ourselves a 2-0 up at half time, I'll take that every day of the week, mate. And whatever again, the team's got back into half time. The manager spoke to them, and again has obviously addressed things he doesn't like and things he wants to improve. The team came out fantastic in the second half. It could have been any score, to be honest. 5-1 didn't flatter us. Like
it flattered St Johnstone 5-1.
Yeah,
it really did. It really did. Bridgeman, the improvement it's coming in a few weeks has been absolutely remarkable.
Unbelievable stuff. I mean, with a big crowd that's I sit in and among all of us are all so complimentary to the players and particularly the management team, and every single one of them saying some marvellous things about our manager, Stephen Gerrard, MBE. Oh my goodness, he get class, or does he get class? My God! But seriously, what a performance we put on at times. And as Big Ulster said there a second ago, no, absolutely no. That could have been 10. That could easily have been 10. We were that far superior to that team. But on the other hand, some of the stupid things with the poor pass backs and things like that, you could have taken the gloss off a wee bit, But seriously, if they had taken any of that game, it'd be criminal. Absolutely criminal. Wonderful performance by the Rangers. Best I've seen in a long, long, long time.
Aye, and they're not the worst team we're going to see all season, Bridge. Let's be honest, They're a big, physical, well-organised team. They just ran out of legs, and I think they were glad when the final whistle came, They
were getting a doing, weren't they, really? That's not the game you want to be playing. You're just getting a doing. At times, I mean, they caught them in when I was going to say the corner, but down our right, and the boys were playing tippy-tappy for long sessions, and then all of a sudden the boy ends up back up in defence again, and then back down to them. It's just great to watch. Great. Jesus, some of the moves we made is just incredible. And of course, Morelos was right in the heart of all of us. Just marvellous. It was a great performance by the team. Great performance.
I'm sure we'll come on to Morelos, Candias, Arfield. I thought McCrory was very influential, particularly in the first half. I thought he was the best of our midfield three in the first half, if I'm being honest. And then he moved to right back and showed that he's got more than one string to his bow. Really pleasing for me, Ulster.
It is really pleasing, mate, because he's still such a young player, and he was used to playing a lot of games towards the end of last season. This season, maybe not just as much, but he came on, did a job, done a very good job midfield, as you say, mate. And a bit like Foxy has alluded to us before, that he was told by one of the guys over here, one of the coaches, that McCrory can play that right back position, and he slotted in there very nicely, mate. Confident, didn't seem to have any real moments that was worrying too much. Thought it was a very, very good display from the young man, and I'm sure Stephen George very happy with how he performed on the weekend.
You hear when I reflected on the victory, Bridgeman, what I was thinking was quite quickly we've developed a squad that I never seen coming.
Wonderful squad we've got, and we've got the 4 loanees. If my memory serves me right, we've got the 4 loanees, and they're key to the squad, aren't they? It's just wonderful. Very young, very, very young squad. Really, really good stuff. Just wonderful to think. The manager can switch these boys around at will, basically now, and they'll all do a great job for him. And he's building great squad. Absolutely brilliant.
Anyway, I'm sure there'll be a few people want to join us, give their thoughts on the game. So what's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Where else can you join us, Big Ulster?
You can join us at rangersradio.online, and you'll find the wee Skype there, and you'll be able to come into the call if you send a wee friend request to Rangers Radio.
By the way, talk about Rangers Radio, Bridge. It was great to meet up with everybody before the game yesterday.
Marvellous. Absolutely marvellous. Nice faces, some nice faces, some not so nice.
I stumbled onto somebody on a tube. I don't know who that was.
I know. I didn't want to see it. That was nice to see you and your boy as well, young James.
That was uncanny, wasn't it? That was uncanny.
It was indeed.
Anyway, it'd be great to hear from people when we've got our first caller of the evening coming in. It's the one and only Rudy Bear. How we doing, Rudy?
Evening,
Rudy.
Evening,
How you doing,
Bridge,
Rudy?
Ulster. Aye.
Hi, Rudy.
Aye, Ulster. Everything's smashing here. Thank you very much.
All right, Rudy. So now you've had time to reflect. I'll give you an easy question. What was the negatives you took out of yesterday?
a lot of very, I don't know. I think very little, to be honest. I think the only negatives for me, I watched the game today again. I thought the defence was a wee bit kind of, I think they need to be a wee bit more careful with some of the back passes. Flanagan and Katic, both bad back passes. Could have caused us a wee bit of trouble. Fortunately, it didn't. And big Connor Goldson at one point, I think, tried to pass the ball to Arfield, I think it was, and passed it straight to the boy for Dundee, who got his shell in on goal and hit the shot wide. But apart from that, I thought that second half was just absolute. I couldn't believe what I was watching, in all honesty. After that,
Arfield, Candias passing the ball in, quick 1-2s, first touch stuff, break free, people running after the ball. Some of the goals we scored, big laugh at his goal. Great play, team play, unselfish, everything, mate.
See all the wee triangles and all that. I mean, it's obviously looking at it straight off the coaching field, but all the wee triangles, the passing, the movement.
Don't mention triangles on here, big Ulster gets a bit emotional.
And, I know you're going to come on to the players, but for me, that for me is Alfredo's best game I've seen him play this season. That
wonderful,
was just,
wonderful.
And I'm talking from an all-round perspective. All-round, his play, everything that he did. The way he brought players into the game, the touch, the way he went. It's just, somebody's put it on a loop on social media somewhere. The ball comes to him, he's got his back to the defender, flipped it around the defender at pace, and he's off and running. Absolutely beautiful movement. So, yeah, really happy. What a great week for the Rangers, eh? What a great week all in.
Talking about great weeks, I had the pleasure of meeting up with GFK. He's joined us. How we doing?
How you doing, guys?
Hey, Jimmy.
I was like a walk down memory lane yesterday.
I was there. Excuse my voice. I've got a bit of a cold, guys. I've got a bit of the man flu. It was great to meet you guys yesterday. Thanks very much for your greeting and that. The way you made my big boy Graham. Say, excuse me. Oh God, I'm breaking up there. Right, it was cracking to meet all you guys. Put a face to the voices they say, and all I can say is every one of you have got a voice for the radio. No television.
That's a shocking thing to say, Jimmy. That's a shocking thing to say.
He's telling the truth, Brad.
What
I will say is that was a mirror he was looking at.
when I met Ox here, it just reminded me of me and him went in for a pie eating contest as a tag team. Me and him would probably win it.
I don't know. I think Rudy
Brilliant.
might use a good.
Well said, Jimmy. Jimmy, well said, mate. Well said.
On the game yesterday, guys, there's not really any fault, obviously, as you guys have all said earlier. My only downside was Flanagan. I just thought he could have performed a bit better than that. I mean, I know he was going to obviously replace Big Borna because of the injury he's got, but other than that, there's no complaint for me. Defensively, some of the pass backs, we need to really, really watch that. I was talking to Ox coming out for the game yesterday, and I agreed with the man of the match was Candias. Although I've got to say, obviously, Morelos was a fantastic player on the day for us. But there's no any fault. I've just noticed somebody and said the last time Rangers scored 5 goals in a competitive game at Ibrox against Sturm Graz. I'd like to actually see if that was the case.
I don't know. Remember we beat, what was it last season when we scored against Dunfermline? I think we put in about 6 in a League Cup tie. Big.
Aye. Yeah,
I was thinking that's not right. So
I think they're probably meaning a league game, by the way. I think they're probably.
Well, we didn't play Sturm Graz in a league.
That's what I was thinking. Obviously, some of Fred's play yesterday was scintillating to watch. He's turning with the ball and the passing. Big Laugh's goal was a dream goal. I mean, where I'm sitting, I can see. He's just slide rule pass across, and it was just, there you go, a wee pass into the net, you know. Absolutely wonderful to watch. The Armed Forces Day on the day and all was a great thing. The boys coming down the abseiling. It was a great day all round, you know. And long may it continue. We know what the weekend that we've had with the other results that went our way, but yeah, I've not got a fault with any of the players. My only downside was Flanagan at times for me just doesn't read the game the way I think he should or he could. But we've obviously the 5-1 was a great result. 5 going on maybe 7 or 8 for me, same as the rest of the guys.
The poster who put that in the lobby said it was the last time he seen 5 goals at Ibrox.
All right.
Aye, no, the last time he scored 5. He's just
never
correct.
That, mate. That's the tears are in my eyes here.
So aye. Look, we'll go through the game, we'll dissect the game, and if people want to join us, what's the number, Bridgeman?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
Where else can you join us, Rudy Bear?
You can join us at rangersradio.online if they'd like to Skype in. If they've been in before, Fox will bring them straight in. If not, he'll sort them out, but in a nice way.
And what else? What can they talk about GFK?
Talk about everything about the Glasgow Rangers.
Is that correct, Big Ulster?
Glasgow Rangers.
That is correct.
GFK, yeah. Anyway, so...
Don't you start.
So
all I can say is that your hair's no changed for 23 years ago. Right?
Oh, it's a bit, mate. And you've no changed a bit.
Well, aye. 10 stone ago, you mean?
Your boy will be alright. Your boy will be alright when he stops growing, huh?
Aye. 21 there in August, he's 6'7" ox.
I thought I was tall until I seen him.
He's like to you, Oxford. How you doing, wee man?
I know. Are we rubbing the top of the head and all? You know?
Nice big laddie.
Aye,
You seem to enjoy it yesterday, aye?
Aye, definitely.
Next time he can get with a young team and me and Fox will stay in and do a Sudoku.
But he's my mini me. Oh, dearie me.
So, as I said earlier on, I'll get your thoughts first, Rudy, and then we'll go to Jimmy Bridge and we'll take you around the panel, and if anybody wants to join us, are welcome. But the game started quite slow for me, and then we got the free kick, and I'm saying, right, okay, that's good, let's see where it takes us. And then we got the second goal, Morelos and Tav again involved. And I thought that's the springboard, but when the third goal went in, the football just started, and it was superb, mate, absolutely superb, that's all I can say.
Some of the passing, the movement, the wee triangles, you know, the passing at pace, pinpoint passing as well. You know, I've mentioned a few times, maybe in the last couple of weeks, that the passing could sometimes be better. And it seems to be a second half thing. I don't know what Stephen Gerrard's saying to them. Maybe he's giving them a right good bollocking and he's saying, no good enough yet, guys, you need to up your game a bit, you know, but he's doing something right at half time in that dressing room. I thought, in all honesty, Ox, I thought some of the probably second half is some of the best football I've seen of them this season. It was exceptional at times, and I just absolutely loved it, thoroughly enjoyed it, and they've now set a benchmark for me to play like that in the league. If they can play like that, as they did, and especially that second half, as you say, that's the way they should be setting it to play every time now in the league, in my opinion. First half, you're quite right, was a wee bit slow, but the funny thing was, though, Ox, I always had this feeling, even though it started off a wee bit slow, I always thought we were going to win the game, and I thought we were going to win it quite comfortably. I went for a 3-0, you know. I thought we were going to win the game comfortably. We said in the pre-match show, if we play, we've got the quality, we win the game. It's as simple as that, and that's what transpired for me. We turned the quality on Ox and just absolutely tore them apart at times.
Anyway, before I go to GFK, we've been joined by Cushy. Evening, Cushy.
Evening, guys. How are we?
Great, how we doing, mate? How we doing, mate?
Cushy.
Very well.
Do you enjoy that, mate?
I did. I thoroughly enjoyed it, yes. I thought we started, as you touched on, really slowly for the first 9 minutes or so, and I was kind of moaning a bit about it at the time, you know. And then James Taverna just scored.
I could name one. My head was too sore.
And then we scored the free kick, and then we just kind of never looked back from there. And I think the only chances that St Johnstone really had, I think, was ones that we gave them. I don't really think they created an awful lot themselves across your 90 minutes. You know, though we did kind of let them in with some slack passing out of defence from ourselves. But I thought generally speaking, it was a really, really good team performance. And I reckon though, for about 80% of that game, I don't think we get out of second gear. And yet we absolutely cruised it.
Can't disagree with that, Gizzy boy. Can't disagree with that.
I thought Arfield was the catalyst for the second half performance, GFK.
Aye, definitely. As Cushy and the rest of the lads there said, you know, I mean, when the start of the game, and I turned to my boy and I was thinking, I mean, where do we go? I mean, we're looking, we're going to be the tiredness after the European game, but no. We kicked on for there, but the second half was a joy to watch, Ox. It really was. You know, that some of the football we played was absolutely wonderful. Arfield had a fantastic game second half, as did my favourite in who's Candace. I thought he had a fantastic game. Some of the one-touch football was brilliant, and you know, we didn't really go up the gears, really, did we? We just kind of cruised along a middle gear there. And I think if they were fired on all cylinders, we'd have probably maybe won 7 or 8, 9. I don't say that lightly, 9, because we were a team to be reckoned there on Saturday. I mean, Sunday. I've said before, Ox, we're due to give somebody a doing. You know, unfortunately it was Dundee, but I'd like it to be somebody else in the coming weeks. But can't fault the performance. Second half we were brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Aye, Bridge. People Candias, the work rate in the second half. Morelos for me for his whole game, both halves, scoring goals, making goals, and some of his touch views are sublime. Arfield, who we've been critical of, if I'm being honest, but I thought the second half he was excellent. You know.
Yeah, I think that out of the other players, including all the boys that come on as well, wasn't any failures. They were all great. Some had better performances than others. Much like Jimmy said there, Candace was outstanding. Covered every blade of grass, and he was running down the left and down the right, covering everything, running back, making these sort of challenges that to break up the attacks that were coming our way. Not that there was that many of them, but he was doing the business. And I take my hat off to him. What a tremendous game he had. And we've just mentioned Morelos and a few others. But really and truly, I'm sitting up there and I'm saying, my God, is this is us just starting under Gerrard? If this is us just starting, what are we going to be like at the end of the season? That's exactly what was going through my mind.
We're going to be champions.
Well, you know, Jimmy, I don't want to put the words out there because we have sort of fallen down our own ditches ourselves, and you know, we don't want anything like that. But yeah, these are the questions that go through my mind. I was high as a kite when I came home yesterday after that performance. I was really, really happy with it. Really, really happy. Thought really good. 5 going on 10, 11.
But obviously, four of the goals were accounted, Bridge, because they were scored with wee guys.
Wee guys, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. If you think about it, the pace in the team is, for instance, is with the young wee Candace and young Kent. There's your pacey guys. Kent was taking the ball on the half turn. Wonderful to watch, absolutely wonderful to watch. Candace was running about, as I said, brilliant games. Both of those guys, brilliant games. I'm not surprised Candace got man of the match because his overall performance was excellent. Seriously.
If there was ever one man yesterday we wanted to score, it was Kent. We had a couple of good digs yesterday, but there was one particular in the second half. He should have burst the net, but it was a great save by the goalkeeper. Yeah. I wanted him to score desperately. I thought he's in a fantastic game. That goal
that Lafferty got, he was just on the park, 2 minutes. He had an overhead kick just before it. And, you know, the way Morelos getting the ball, running down, squaring the ball to Arfield just passing it straight on to Lafferty, and Lafferty batting in the net. That was a wonderful goal. Absolutely wonderful goal. Great passes. Brilliant play.
Can I just not only just say about the passing and the movement, the work rate of the team, Cushy, and then we'll go to Big Ulster, closing the opposition down, making it hard for them so that they've got to work hard to get anything.
Well, I think the work rate is fundamental to how Gerrard sees the game and wants to play the game. And if you're not prepared to put in the work, then I don't think you're going to be in that Rangers team. You know, when you look at how he views Kent, and he's put him in all the big games that we've had since he signed the boy, and yet at the start of it, when it's only recently that we've really been getting an end product from him. But he's there because, you know, Gerrard sees that the huge shift the boy puts in, you know, and I think that type of shift, I think that is just kind of permeating throughout the team in terms of, you know, the huge amount of work rate. It's, you know, it's night and day for what we've seen previously. You know, I have to say, I wasn't all that impressed with Candace for the first 20-25 minutes of the match yesterday, because it was tending to come inside quite a lot, you know, and be in the middle of the park trying to kind of make things happen and be a bit playmaker. And I prefer him out on the right hand side, you know, doing the 1-2s with Tavernier and getting to the byline and putting the crosses in, etc. You know, but when it started ticking for him, he really started to make the midfield, you know, really move and really play a lot better, you know. But you know, again, it's something it's a position that I've not really fancied Candace, you know, up until probably after about half an hour of the match yesterday, and then it started kind of ticking for him. But I've not really fancied him doing it. But his work rate is, you know, I mean, Candace's work rate is absolutely phenomenal. It's never that was apparent even before Gerrard was the manager, you know. And I think it's good for him that Gerrard appreciates that type of work and is prepared to put him into, you know, games and maybe different positions in order to see if we can get the best out and put a bit of energy in there.
Talking about wee bits of energy, it was remiss of me at the start of the show not to thank the good folk for putting on the show yesterday. All School Blue and the Technicals, the one and only True Blue, and Blue Shadow and Rudy Bear, who supported them. Thanks very much, lads. Thanks very much to you, Rudy, mate.
No bother, you're welcome, Ox. It was a pleasure as usual.
Listen, guys, I have to say,
well done to True Blue. Well done to True Blue and Old School Blue. They did a cracking job.
Can I just say, I apologise. I tried to phone in, and after about a minute's ringing, the tunes came on, and I thought, well, there's nobody there. You know what I mean? I just hung up.
The tunes kept. There was a wee bit of technical hitch, but just to let you know, right, we've changed the number, Bridge, but just nobody's telling you.
But when it clicked in, I looked this morning because I was going to re-listen to Fridays, and I saw they were in the two, the pre and post. I thought, my goodness gracious. So
there was a wee technical hitch with the music playing, the tunes playing just at the start of the pre-match show.
No, this was after the game.
Oh, after the game.
So, but just after 5, 5:15ish. But I mean, I got through eventually, but the music was playing, so I just thought for a minute there's something more right, you know. So I thought the show wasn't on. Maybe Old School Blue just played some music.
It was on. They knew it was you, but
that's okay. That's okay.
So a big shout out to both Blue Shadow and Rudy Bear and True Blue, who's a past master at Cherry Rangers Radio.
Certainly is.
So the second half, Cushy, I think you pointed out that we were a wee bit, I wouldn't say laboured. I think it was St Johnstone's setup was frustrating us for the first few minutes. Then Tav, another goal, free kick. He also hit the bar with a wonderful free kick. He was unlucky. A nice slide rule pass for Morelos, who cut inside and scored the second goal. Tav would have been candidate for man of the match if he'd have stayed on.
He would have. I thought it was a very good game. You know, his assists and goals for us over the piece since he's signed are absolutely phenomenal. You know, considering we get that boy for 200,000 quid, you know, it's a fantastic piece of business for us. It really is. You know, and he's been, even taking away his defensive weaknesses. You know, he's still an excellent right back, and he's been a fantastic piece of business for us. But it goes to show, I think, in matches at Ibrox where teams are trying to be stuffy, the value of getting an early goal against them, because it completely negates their game plan. They don't really know what to do. They know they can't really come out and start attacking us because we're going to cut them apart. So the opposition teams are left in a little bit of no man's land. They're trying to stick to the game plan that they had in the dressing room, but they know that if they keep doing that, it's just going to be 1-0. So they're a little bit between a rock and a hard place. And it's something that over the years, the last few years certainly, we really struggled to try and get that early goal just to settle the nerves and get us playing. But we are starting to score a lot of goals and we're getting them at good times now, and that's invaluable for us, particularly at Ibrox, where teams are going to come and they're going to sit in and they're going to make it stuffy for us, and they're just going to look for things in the break. These early goals are just fantastic for us, and I hope we can keep doing it.
11 goals scored in the league by Ulster, 1 conceded at Ibrox. I was slowly getting there.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about at the start of the end of last season. The home form was terrible, really, really poor, but it seems that it's changing. We're starting to do what we should be doing at Ibrox and just taking these teams apart. Especially a bit like Cushy says there, St Johnstone, that is the game plan for them. They're going to try their best just to contain us, frustrate us, because they know that, we know what the home support's like. First half an hour, if it's 0-0, you get the fans sometimes getting on the back a wee bit, and it can be hard for the team. But getting that first goal sort of relaxed everybody. Then we got the second, and then went to the second half. We were just fantastic, and some of the football was probably the best I've seen this season, to be honest. At times it was fantastic in the second half, and that's what we need to do. If we can get these early goals, then as Cushy says, it puts teams in, the game plans out the window, because they still have to try and get that goal to equalise at some point during the game, and when they have to come out and play a wee bit, we'll see the times that we were just too good for St Johnstone, and I'm sure they were just happy to hear the final whistle, to be honest, because especially at 77 minutes, I think it was 5-1. It could have went 6, 7 or 8, to be honest, and just incredible. And that's what we need, a fortress Ibrox. If we want to win anything, we have to be beating these teams at home, and we're doing that so far.
JFK.
What it proved on Saturday, Ox, was that the enforced change, obviously, by Borna and other changes the gaffer made, but it proved to us all that we have got a good pool of players this season that we can rely on, because in the seasons going by, we didn't have that pool of players that we could say we could change the team from game to game, tactics to tactics, whatever you want to put it, because everybody expected, no us, blue noses didn't, everybody expected us to fall in our face here after our European exerts, right? So we didn't do that. We came out, the gaffer changed the team. Obviously, as I said, one was enforced with Borna being put out, but we played well, really, really, really well. And there's no, it's all positives. I'm trying to think of the players that were still coming in. It was pleasing to see Graham Dorns get a run out on Sunday as well.
He was very good, mate. I thought he was very good.
His time in the park, same as when he came on in the European game, he played well. So we've got a lot of good players still to come into the pool, and that's what we need now, a pool of players, and we're starting to get that. And that's what's really, really pleasing about the way that we're going forward. As also said there, and I was also said the other night, it could have been 7, 8, 9, without a doubt, and that's no us looking through the, as they call the proverbial blue glasses. Look, we could have hammered them. It should have happened, but it didn't. But we're all happy. 5-1. Well, 5-1.
You took that before the game, huh? You took that before the game.
I would have, mate, but 5-0 would have been better. The wee goal kind of took the shine off it. But it was never a penalty anyway. But anyway,
thought the karaoke was starting.
So did I.
And you come.
Know yourself, Foxy.
Is that the Fox? Aye.
I think he's still in the naughty step as Fox. Carry on. Carry on, Bridge. You were coming in.
I was going to come in and just say I agree with the guys with things. I think everything they've said there. The truth is, yeah, it could have been double figures easily if it had been 7, 8, 9, as Ulster said, that team couldn't have complained. I don't know if their manager even mentioned, some of the wonderful play the Rangers had. Whether he said that, we were up against a really good team, I don't know. And if he didn't, well, that's okay as well. We don't really care. But the truth is, he's normally an honest big guy. So maybe Big Ulster knows if he said anything about it, or just said it and kept it to his own team, because they were completely outplayed, outclassed, outfought. Wonderful. But I'll tell you what, there was a few really bad tackles went in there against our players, particularly for one of our ex-players, Mr. Foster. He tried to do Kent twice and actually caught him once, and that should have been a red card, 100%. Now, I never saw it because it's a different...
Arfield, the tackle in Arfield and Albridge was was it
Arfield he brought? That's right, he done Arfield, but the one he pulled young Kent down.
That's right, aye. That was a free kick, wasn't it? Second free kick.
That's right, and that should have been a red card. For me, a red card. He got a yellow, but that was a red card all the way. He was behind the man, and he took him right out, because Ross McCrory gets sent off for the same time against St Mirren, remember?
That's right.
So, going from the behind. But over and above that, I don't think they were anywhere near us, other than they pick up, as we said earlier, they're picking up on some of our wee mistakes, that they managed to pick second ball up from us and ran at us. And they looked no bad, because they got down, they got a couple of shots in at goal. I think McGregor managed to palm one of them away, and the rest went over the bar or past the post. So if they had all the luck under the sun, they could have scored 2 or 3 goals themselves, truth be told. But our luck was in, and we should have, wasn't in as much as we would like, but we could have got 6, 7, 8. I reckon it could have been double figures, and there's nothing to say. Nobody would have said anything. And BBC would still never have said anything to us. They've not mentioned it.
No. But Tommy Wright never actually gave us good plaudits, guys.
Did he not?
No.
What did he say? I never heard what he said. What did he say?
I was reading the day. He said along the lines that we shot ourselves in the foot. We were complicit in how the result went, basically. He says, I know they're ruthless at a point, but at the same time, we didn't perform the way we know we can perform that. He says there was positives in the game, he says, but most of it was all negatives for me. He says, we let Rangers attack us too much. And I was surprised at Tommy Wright saying something like that, because usually he's quite positive. If a team's played well against him, he usually comes out and says that, but he really didn't give the plaudits. And I watched that show last night as well, the show, the Unmentionable show, and I was surprised that we actually get somebody say that we were actually brilliant today on Sunday. I couldn't believe that, and that wasn't the ex-Rangers player.
Well, we know how we played. We're pretty fair.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. But can I just say one thing about the tackle with Foster?
Yes.
How you hear the things round about you. There's a guy. I'll try to keep this as clean as I can, and I'll swear. There's a guy behind us when he tackled that tackle. He shouted along the lines of, "Remember, Foster, you're on a promise tonight, and Amy will not be and happy now after that tackle." And the guy says to me, "What does that mean?" I says, "He's married to Amy McDonald, who's a blue nose singer. You're on a promise tonight. That's dirty."
A dirty tackle, you mean?
Aye, well, but he wasn't. It was dirty tackle, aye.
Can I just say on the Kent tackle, I think Kent showed a little bit of naivety with that tackle. I think he'd make a bit more about it and stay down and look hurt rather than just pop back up and just kind of and shrug his shoulders at the referee. I think a more experienced player would make far more of that tackle, because it was a terrible tackle. There was no intention of playing the ball. He just went for the man, and I think Kent should be doing a bit of rolling about and make the ref think, or certainly look at the tackle a bit longer than he did. But he just kind of popped straight back up onto his feet, and shrugged his shoulders at the ref, and I think he made it easy for the ref to give a yellow card. And I think just a little bit a little bit more experience, I think, and in terms of how he reacted to that could have potentially made the ref actually look at the Foster tackle and maybe actually give him a red rather than a yellow.
Just as well, I never done it to Gira. He didn't have any shin pads on.
That's good, that, wasn't it? It's good, that. I've never seen that before, because Tavernier gave me shin pads. Marvellous.
It was other way. I think it was other way about, actually. I think it was other way about. Yeah.
He didn't.
What's that?
What happened
is,
it was Tavernier gave a young boy shin pads in the warm-up. See when the team was warming up, Tavernier gave his shin pads to a young boy. And that was Agira's shin pads that Tavernier had on. So young boy in the Govan got Tavernier's shin pads.
Oh, right. So what shin pads was Jerry wearing then? Because he thought anyway that Tavernier had given him his shin pads.
Two different stories, Bridge.
Is that right?
Tav gave his away and obviously borrowed Agira's. And he's winning
on.
Aye.
Okay. That's good.
Tav gave his shin pads to a young boy in the Govan front. And then what happened is when he got Elena Ageria's, and then when Ageria was coming on and Tav was
giving them back.
They gave them back.
So that well explained, Jimmy. Thanks for that, Falcon. I was wondering how that happened anyway. It's really good. Adds a wee bit to the game, doesn't it? Adds a wee bit to the game. Can I just say I'm awful pleased with our management team and the coaches. They're doing a wonderful. It looks like they're doing a great job with the players, and the players are responding to everything they're asking them to do. And by goodness gracious, it's starting to show. And obviously, Wednesday night's a big night again, another massive game for the Rangers. So we've got it all to do and get there and show them what we need to do, and then we'll on to the next one. That's the way we need to do it.
I think
young
Kent deserves another shout out for his performance on Sunday. You know, we're talking about Morelos, Candace, Scotty Arfield. And don't get me wrong, they all played really well. But I thought Kent was absolutely fantastic again at the weekend. Too. He drew the free kick, that Tav scalped off the crossbar. Yeah. He was involved in everything up that side of the park. He's running. I love the way he's so direct. He just goes by players like they're standing still. And I think as time goes on, I think he's going to become a really, really good player for us. So he is, he's just going to get more and more confident. The goal, he cracked a crossbar with one. It came back off a crossbar. Scotty Arfield had the rebound, scored with it, So I think in all, I think young Kent had another really good game at the weekend,
He's got a marvellous trick, Rudy. He managed to take the ball on a half turn. And he's away,
He's off.
And he's actually got 2-3 yards on the guy because he doesn't know which way he's going to go. Absolutely wonderful trick. And he's got pace,
He's got fantastic pace, Bridge, and he must be an absolute nightmare for the defenders because they're looking at him, he's coming at them, and they don't know where he's going to go, And they're thinking, this boy's got pace to burn, so he has,
I think and he's just
confident. He's confident as anything as well, Bridge. He's really confident, absolutely. Young boy.
He's one of the 4 guys that apparently the manager's supposedly trying to, shall we say, consider and get the board to back him, as far as money's concerned, to keep them on. Now, I don't know whether these boys will want to stay any longer with the Rangers. I would imagine that Koulibaly might. I'd imagine that Ageria might. But I would be wondering if all 4 of them could, in fact, do that, I think Kent. Yeah. There was about 3 or 4 of them that you could have give man of the match performances. And by the way, what Oxley said earlier on, Tavernier was fantastic in the first half. After about 10 minutes, he really came right into the game. And what a fabulous passage between him and Morelos for Morelos' goal.
Yeah.
Two wonderful passages. Oh, just brilliant. What a fabulous goal. Brilliant to watch.
Cushy. Is the management team going to get great plaudits? Because it doesn't matter who we bring in when we're changing the team, and we look very, very well organised.
Well, I think the buzz about the club is absolutely down to them. In terms of the background staff that they're bringing in, the way they're talking to the players, the type of football he wants to play, the way he's talking about in his press conferences, everything about it is just that they just seem to be creating a really, really positive vibe round about the club, and that is, you're seeing that on the pitch. because the players look as if they're enjoying their football. That's seasons past. Rangers players at Ibrox in the last couple of years just looked as if they wanted to be anywhere else but playing their football at Ibrox, and the results reflected that. But you don't get that impression anymore. These boys look as if they're out there, they're enjoying their football. They're happy playing in front of a full house at Ibrox now. And they want to go about and see what they could do, because that team didn't look, we didn't look phased at all in terms of the the pressure that was on us, if you like, following the Celtic result, to go out and actually get 3 points. The team done it, as I said earlier. They done it in second gear for the most part. And that I think that confidence that they've got in the players and their squad is definitely, the players believe that. It's not just a managerial trick to get them to play, if you like. They definitely believe that they're part of something. They're part of the vibe, they're part of the buzz that the managerial team's creating. And it's fantastic to look at. I think there must be a few jealous teams looking at us right now, wishing that they were in our place.
Big Ulster.
I can't really disagree with anything because he says there. I think everything's just going well for us at the minute. The staff, the coaching staff, and the management team, I don't think any of us could have said, or dreamed to be in this position this early on, to be honest, especially with the European results. It's just been a magnificent week. If somebody had said to you, you're going to go ahead, you're going to draw with Villarreal away from home, then you're going to get yourself up to second place with a 5-1 victory at home to St Johnstone. If you said at the start of the week, if we'd all bit your hand off for that, incredible. What odds would you have got for that if you had to put a bet on it? And it's happened. It's just trying to keep that going now. And I think what I'm enjoying the most is the fact that we are taking some players out of the team and freshening the thing up with maybe 3 or 4 players, different changes, but you don't actually see a difference. You're not really worrying about certain ones taken out, like who was it played left, or Flanagan played at left back for us, and that's a really, really good job. McCrory came in, done a really good job, a fantastic victory for us, and I think it's a squad that we've been needing for so long. We're not stuck with the same 11 players. We've got a squad that we can look on now, and hopefully we'll see how it goes in the rest of the season. But if we keep that home form for most of the season, then you never know where we could end up. Hopefully champions, but maybe too early to say.
Yeah, Rudy.
Aye, for me, it's the confidence thing's a huge part of the game, and Steven Gerrard's mentioned in a couple of interviews already, that they've got to have confidence in themselves, they've got to have confidence in their teammates and each other, and they've got to have confidence in the team in general. We've now got a squad of players where you've got players on the bench who you can bring off the bench if needs be to affect a game. We've said that time and time again. We never had that last season. Young McCrory started yesterday. Fantastic. I thought he played really, really well, and then was moved out to right back and played really well there too. So, we've got a squad now. We've not had that for such a long time, last season, especially the season before, we were basically going with the same 11 players. They knew there was no really anybody breathing down their neck for their position. So did they play well? If they didn't, it didn't really matter too much. That's different now. You don't play well in this team, Steven Gerrard just won't accept it. It's as simple as that. And there's a player there waiting to take that jersey off you. And at a club like Rangers, the size of Rangers, that's exactly how it should be. And let's not forget, Ox, it's one transfer window. I watched Mark Allen's interview. I don't know if you're going to touch on that, but I watched his interview and he was talking about how they'd done a huge amount of work in the summer. And I tell you what, the half and a half have done a massive amount of work. He's been instrumental in that, obviously, but in his interview, didn't he take all the credit? He's like, it's not just down to me, it's a team. We're a team here. So everybody's involved in this, So, squad it's brilliant right now to see that we've got players that will either come off the bench or, you can rotate the squad a bit, the first team a wee bit. If you've got playing two games a week, playing the Thursday and the Sunday, you've got players who can come off the bench or players that you can bring in. Flanagan come in, done a good job. All right, 1 or 2 wee mistakes, fair enough. He's not a right-footed player. He's playing at left back. McCrory came in and done really well for me as well. That's a great sign.
Bridgeman.
I agree. What Rudy said there is absolutely spot on. I just think The way I was seeing it from the Copeland there, we looked absolutely magnificent. In the second half, we were just wonderful to watch. And some of the things we were doing, I haven't seen a second half like that in such a long time. And I'm not being funny when I say that. We were absolutely brilliant. The way we played, the way we strutted it, we had a lot of gallus about our game, which is, to me, everything. You see the flicks that boy Morelos did. That was just freedom. That's a big freedom for him. He can go, give me the ball, give me it that way, and I'll take it. And he flicked it past that left back there as if he wasn't there. It's just wonderful to watch. And not just him. All the boys were doing it. I mean, Kent smacked the bar. The ball comes out to Arfield. Arfield smacks it in the net. Lovely passing for wee Candace's goal. Just wonderful to watch, guys. Oh, I'm so happy. I'm just over the moon with it all. Just fantastic. They played
with a real swagger in the second half. Didn't
Jesus.
They? Yeah, it was brilliant to watch. You know?
They're wonderful to watch. Wonderful to watch. Don't get me wrong. I'm under no illusions. We're still quite poor. We're sort of defensive passing, particularly trying to back pass to the goalkeeper. The ball's not getting there. We're not hitting the ball right, and it's not getting there. So twice we did that in the second half, and twice the guy got through and was very unlucky not to score. By the way, the penalty, I don't think it was a penalty. I've only seen a wee bit on the telly because we couldn't make it out from where we were properly, and I don't think it was a penalty at all. I think Harfield hardly touched him, to be honest.
No. It was very soft, Bridge, very soft. I think McLean's been thinking I better give him something.
But, a clean sheet, that would have been fabulous to go to win that game 4-0, 5-0. Because then they're purely dominant, absolutely dominant, and that just proved it. But there's a couple of wee times they got through, got shots at goal, which is the things we need to look up for now. And I think Oxtear mentioned it right at the very start. Probably in patches, probably Golson's poorest game because his distribution was quite poor, particularly in the first half, actually. His distribution was quite poor. Many's a ball he put out and it was straight to the wrong man or right out of the park, just not good enough, So hopefully he tightens that up.
I think you have to look at it in the stretch of the 8-day period there, Bridge. 11 goals scored in 3 games, 2 great wins at Ibrox and a fantastic point, scoring 2 goals against a La Liga team away in the Europa League, For me, that's just a fantastic week all in. I think the players have done exceptionally well in that 8-day period, to be honest. I'll take that every day of the week, mate,
I just feel... I'm going to start with a rant, probably. One of your rants, maybe, Rudy. I just feel that we're playing such quite an open style of play, and it's really good, and it's really good to watch. And I dare say anybody that watches our games, neutrals included, can't help but say we're playing not too bad at the moment, and that's probably complimentary from them. But we're playing good football. We're winning games. We're second top of the league, and still, you're getting this negativity, particularly from the BBC.
Don't watch it then.
I'm saying, listen. The highlights programme. They put the highlights programme on, and the first game is them across the other side of the city, and the last game is the Rangers game.
Do you know why?
No, of course I don't know why.
Well, it's simple, isn't it? What game would keep the most people watching the programme at the end?
Well, it's got to be us, isn't it?
Exactly. It's as simple as that, Bridge.
Best till last.
Exactly. I'm going to have to... I think some of these certificates you gave me for your education, I'm going to have to check them out.
I don't think that's the truth. I think there's something else in there. Obviously,
no,
I'm
paranoid about that. Bridge, I think sports have always done that. In fact, most sports programmes, highlights programmes that I've seen over the decades have done that. They've got one or the other on at the front and the back of the programmes, and that's how it is. I wouldn't read too much into it. I thought actually the BBC were and Thompson and Stewart on it actually were
complimentary.
Actually complimentary about us for the first time. But even if they aren't, I mean. Even if they weren't, it wouldn't have surprised me, but that's why That's why if we're not complimentary about us, then that's why we're on here, because we're sick over the years of just hearing complete negativity. So, it's not, it's no surprise. I don't think you could be anything but complimentary about Rangers after that performance yesterday. It would, anything negative would have sounded just like pure sour grapes, so there's nothing else that the two boys could have said about it. It was an excellent performance. It showed all its best about the Gerrard regime so far and the team that he's building. And as I say, it would have been sour grapes if they'd said anything else.
I have to agree with that. That's for sure.
Man. That's the oldest trick in the book with team highlight programmes, mate. One good at the start and one at the end, mate. Keeps people watching. If you put the two good games on first, or the two games that people want to see, you just turn off for the rest.
Oh, I know, I would.
Well, what is that, mate? Right, Brad.
My mate was telling me the day that he had we listened back to Radio Snidey said it was an absolute hoot. He says Keevans and Matt Wilson and that wee Gordon, but whatever character as it compares that show. He says the three of them are having a good whine about the Celtic defeat to Kelly. He says, but each, so every 10 minutes it seemed like they were announcing another goal by Rangers. He said, you could hear them in the studio. You could literally hear the tears. I need to have a listen back to that. I've not heard it yet, but he loved it, he said.
That's probably true, by the way.
All right, are we announcement? You remember we had Bear Down Under on last week?
Yes.
We were starting up their wee club in Western Australia, Jimmy.
Aye, the Rockingham Rangers, aye.
Yeah, over 50 bears turned up on Sunday.
Brilliant.
Good stuff.
Absolutely fantastic effort by all the boys out there, Well
Great
done.
Stuff. Yep.
Brilliant. Anyway, lads, I don't know where that first tours went. You feel better now, Bridge, getting that off your chest?
Halfway there.
Oh, you keep Mary on load. Oh dear.
Get off your soapbox.
I'm glad you're here. Cushy, to take his questions. Right, let's go and mute him with a tune for your Fox.
I've sailed the wide Atlantic, across the broad Pacific shore. I've sailed around the stormy capes, I've heard the parties roar. I fly the Indian Ocean, I've sailed the China Sea. But there's a sea back home in Scotland, means more than all the rest to me. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of my brow. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of my brow. And it happens when the orange beat the green. No more I'll sail the seven seas, no more I'll ever roam. No more I'll feel the urge again, I'm back where I belong. At 3 o'clock each Saturday, I'll join a happy throng with Rangers banners all around. We'll proudly sing this song. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of my brow. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue, yes, the blue sea of my brow. And it happens when the orange beat the green. the blue, it's the blue sea of eyebrows. It's the greatest sight that I have ever seen. It's the blue sea of eyebrows. And it happens when the orange beat the green. And it happens when the orange beat the green.
It's the blue, blue, blue sea of Ibrox. What a wonderful song. Well said. Well done, Foxy.
See, with that band we done at half time, that proves we can have a band on the park at half time at the game. So we can
playing the ring instruments though.
Well, we've got Big George, we've got Big Ulster on the triangle.
Big Ulster, yeah.
Yeah.
Jimmy the Stickman is a drum major. Bring him out of retirement.
Hey, I can still throw my stick about, mate. Don't you worry about that.
Jimmy will get that stick off the mantelpiece and get it dusted down, won't you, Jimmy?
Right, definitely, mate.
I love it.
Definitely.
Things have moved on. Things have moved on. It's a little blue pill that helps him do.
Hey. Hey. I've got a big stick, you know.
And obviously, Fox knows a couple of trombone players that can help him do it as well.
That's good.
My big sticks get big pom-poms as well.
Oh, no, Jimmy.
No, Jimmy. You've got your long
yourself, Jimmy.
It's got two big red.
Jimmy.
Wait a minute, it's got two big red, white, and blue pom-poms at the end there. What are you trying to say here?
They call it varicose veins, Jimmy.
Dearie me.
Oh my God.
Right. Okay, so that's a bad. That's that idea finished. Oh well,
Right,
what's the bad?
okay.
It started no
Right.
bad when he did it.
Aye. And it could have been a thing as well. We've got enough here, haven't we? We could get something going, you know.
Aye. That would be something to behold, that, definitely. Aye.
Anyway,
Blue.
so
Blue.
Fox, are you with us? There's a few people asking who that was singing, mate. I know you're joined us. I know you're no.
Well enough.
No, he's fine. He's fine. Mate. He bounced back well. Bit of cola cubes. He was fine. Fox, you there?
It was the Blue Notes, mate.
And is that half of the CDs that you've got, mate?
It is indeed. That's one
All
track off it, aye.
Okay, mate. Thanks very much for that, mate. Nice to speak to you. I've not spoke to you since Saturday.
And I hope you never speak to me again.
That's shocking the berries.
Hey, Wonder Bridge, drag me up the dancing. 67-year-old, mate. The oldest swinger in town.
What a pair. Absolutely. Absolutely.
It was a bit of an eventful evening. It's only that every now and then, Fox, isn't it? I'll see you in 2 weeks' time.
I can't say I look forward to it. I much prefer sitting with your man, mate. It's near my style.
Oh, very good.
A big shout out to Jimmy and May who looked after me on Saturday night.
Oh dear, that was a bit of a day, Ulster, wasn't it?
Oh yes. Uncle Fox was in top form.
Uncle Fox. You said I was at Uncle Fox. It's a killer. Sorry, boys.
Bridges gone, Bridges. Right, move back to the
brilliant.
football.
That's
Get him
superb.
back on the
That's
BBC. Get him stop him laughing.
Oh my God! No, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Right, Cushy. We're on this roll Wednesday night. We're going to make changes. I think there'll be changes, and I think you might have some guys getting their fitness. I think Middleton might start, and that's what a lot of people are wanting to see. I think a lot of people were shocked that he didn't go on the park yesterday, but I think he'll start on Wednesday night. There you go.
I think he will. I think he'll start. I've seen Grezda scored today as well, so we may well see him on the opposite side as well. I could certainly see Joe Worrell coming in, maybe for Goldson, and give him a rest. So yeah, I think there'll be a few changes. Maybe even Barisic coming back in as well if he's recovered from his injury, and probably starting Lafferty, I would think, up front. So I think and he will bring the changes. I think there's possible. He'll probably do Dobbins as well. Just thinking about it, because there's quite a few bodies there that he could certainly bring in and bring the changes and rest a few bodies and freshen things up a bit. I think the good thing about it is that these are not kind of make weights. These are all first team players that we've got. I don't think we're weakening that first 11 by bringing some of these guys in, at all. So it's really good. And you touched on it earlier in terms of the strength of the squad that we've got. I think that's the fact that we can do that in Wednesday night and change probably half our first team and not weaken the squad is symptomatic of where we are at the moment. And that's obviously a very good place.
I must admit, Cushy, and I'll come to you first, then I'll take you to the panel. I've never seen this development coming as quick.
No, I thought we'd be better this year. I thought we'd make progress. I think there'd be a lot of things going on behind the scenes to try and boost boost the squad, but the sheer scale of the changes, since the 1st of June. I don't think anybody could have predicted it. I think it's caught even the most optimistic person by surprise. Certainly from a Rangers supporting perspective, it's been fantastic for us. I think some of our opposition it's caught them by surprise as well in terms of where we are, because we were a bit. Let's be frank, in April, May time, we were a bit of a shambles, managerially. A lot of the players at the club just simply weren't up to the standard that we were hoping they were going to be. And one of the big issues that you've got is trying to move on players that you just don't fancy, but who are potentially on good wages. So it's not just about bringing the level of player that we've managed to do into the squad. It's getting shot at some of the players, whether out on loan or permanently, that just don't fit into his plans, and we've done an it's not just I struggle to kind of come up with a metaphor to describe it, because I just don't think anybody has seen this transformation that's taking place. It's absolutely seismic.
Just I think Big Lafferty suspended, cup tied. I think he played for Hearts earlier.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I see that in the lobby. So yeah, that's. Then I think I don't know. Is he going to bring Sadiq in and give him a shot? That would be interesting. I was discussing today with someone that Sadiq had the first 45 minutes today, and didn't score. And then the boy that come on, the 17-year-old that come on and took his place, scored a hat trick. And it was just a conversation I had with someone the day that it's interesting. It would be interesting if Sadiq scores, but the boy that takes his place, who is only 17, isn't even figuring in the first team squad. It was just a kind of talk, a conversation. I think if we're going to kind of keep Roma happy, then I think that's probably the game where Sadiq gets a start, but I felt it was interesting that a 17-year-old lad today that we've got in the development squad is overshadowing him a bit.
Cushy, do you think there's any possibility that Sadiq will go back to Roma in January?
I think it's a 1-year deal, Rudy.
Do we need to keep him for that 1 year then, do we?
I think it's a 1-year deal, mate. Just for the people who don't know, the reserves won 6-2 against Motherwell today. For those who aren't as sad as all us who read Dawson.
That's a fabulous result, isn't it? Just a fantastic result.
Grezda scored the day.
Good on him.
6-2 they won. You know, the changes I would make, obviously we're going to change the goalkeeper because he always likes to have a goalkeeper for the cup games and the league games, but I think there could be up to 5 or 6 changes for Wednesday, guys. I'd play Middleton, I'd play Gresda, I'd play Worrell, I'd play Dorans, and I was pleasing to read today. I'm an Anrack like yourself, Oxshire. Rossiter had a run out today in the Motherwell reserve game. I don't know. Do you think you guys think we should maybe have a wee go at Rossiter on Wednesday night? Is it too early for him?
I would say maybe a bit too early, I think, possibly. See, the thing we need to remember about this game on Wednesday, all right, you said United, Jimmy, but it's the opportunity to get into the semi-final.
I know.
One of the cups, you know, so we don't want to go taking it too lightly. I do agree, though, it's an opportunity to give players a bit of time in their legs, you know.
I'm thinking
part, you know?
I'm thinking of the players that we can bring in. I mean, we know what Glenn Middleton can do. I quite fancy the guy Worrell. I think he's a player. We definitely know what Graham Dorans can do. You know, as Sadiq, I mean, I don't know many. I would say to Ox on the way out, did any of you notice Sadiq the day? And he's all said, no, he wasn't on the bench, but he was on the park. Did you also know that? He was carrying the flag at half time.
I never even noticed.
See, well, look at the wee picture.
Yeah.
He was standing at holding the flag, walking it around Ibrox on Sunday. And that was him. You know, I see that he walks when the gaffers maybe says, by the way, you're not on the bench, but you're carrying the flag at half time. But yeah, it was him. It didn't look happy at all. But all kidding aside, Middleton.
I've had some information. I've had some information on that, Jimmy.
On you go, pal.
Stevie Gerrard said, I'll get you at half time. He just didn't tell me he was taking the flag.
Oh, very good.
I know what Bridget and Rudy are saying there about but looking at the players that we've got against Ayr United, I know we don't want to be complacent. It's only Ayr United because the young boy Shanklin's scoring for fun now. I mean, he scored 16 goals in 12 games or something, right? And I would like to think that he might be at our part next season. But I think we could make 4 good changes enough to beat Ayr United. When I put Sadiq in and place a big laugh, I don't know. What we've seen him, I've not really been that impressed, but we'll give the guy a chance.
Is there no chance that we might have to do that? Because it was Morelos not got a wee knock at the tail end of the game.
Did I? He did.
The manager's already said that he'll be starting Morelos.
So he's going to be okay for the game then?
I think he will be.
Yeah.
So you're going to mix Sadiq on the bench then, aren't you? Because if Lafferty's cup tied, you know, you're going to need a striker surely on the bench at least. You know?
What about Tavernier? Did Tavernier, because he went off at half time or just after it?
Just for a rest, mate. He's played nearly
just the
every
rest,
minute.
was it? Okay. Absolutely, I understand. But if he's injured, then you've always got an obvious replacement for him and Flanagan. And particularly as Barisic is back. I think you don't know.
I think Tav was replaced because it was tactical and it busted his guts for us the last couple of games. So I think that was just a tactical substitution. He maybe took a wee bang, but it was all right to come off and just be fit for the next game. But I'll be interested to see what kind of team the gaffer picks for Wednesday, you know. But I couldn't believe, I read that today about Sadiq, 45 minutes, and then they come off and the young boy, a 17, scored a hat-trick, you know. It's like,
what's the chances that the young boy may get into the squad? The young Mabudi, wasn't it?
Mabudi. Aye.
Wow. Amazing, mate, amazing.
Yeah, in a reserve game, I know, but he's not being like young Middleton, isn't he? He's no Sean in the first team. Definitely, young Middleton's got to. For me, I think it would be I'd be shocked turning up there on Wednesday and no see young Glenn Middleton and starting the game. I'd love to see him start. Like to see Gresda start as well. For all accounts, what I read, he had a good game today. He played for an hour, I think.
Yeah, I think it's obvious he will get a start on Wednesday. But the thing about I'm going to ask you about
Gregson will not start on Wednesday if he was playing an hour a day.
How no?
You think so?
No chance.
Against United?
Oh, it's a quarter final of League Cup time, mate.
You think so, Oxshire?
No chance.
I thought he would have been certain to start today. Starting
Does
Wednesday.
anybody think a
I think-
professional football player is going to play an hour on a Monday and then he's going to play on a Wednesday?
Maybe he needs a time on the paddocks. But as
Too
far
soon.
as Middleton's concerned, I think this is a perfect game to give the
Yep.
boy a start. Because he's knocking on the door. He's surely he's got to be close to a start now. I mean, he came on against Villarreal in midweek there, and he was absolutely superb when he came on. His pass to Barisic for Kyle Lafferty's goal was absolutely outstanding.
Marvellous,
They were waxing
marvellous.
lyrical about it. The sporting media down in England, so they were, Martin Keown was like, this boy's got to start. Every time I see this boy, he just excites me. I like everything about him. He's young, he's fearless. He's got to start Wednesday night, surely. I mean, it's all one saying when you've got a talent like that you need to nurture it. But is it no time to give the boy his head and just say, right, on you go. Shows what you're about. Shows what you can do.
I think he'll start on Wednesday. I'll go to Big Ulster. I think he'll start Wednesday, but I can't see Gresta starting. I can see Gresta being on the bench minimum. He had an hour a day, even though it was only reserve football.
I think, guys, especially if it being on Monday, there's only a few days till Wednesday. I think he'll probably be on the bench as well. I think Middleton will definitely start. Morelos, the manager's already alluded that he will start. I would probably maybe see Sadiq on the bench. I don't think we'll start with Sadiq because I think we'll have to give a lot of respect as well, to be honest. We should be beating them anyway, whatever team we put out, but they're having a cracking season so far in the league. They're doing well in the Championship and they've got themselves this far in the Cup by beating Premier League side. So it'll be interesting to see what he does on Wednesday, but I think Morelos will definitely start. Young Middleton, maybe McCrory again. It'll be.
Would you play Wes and go?
I think he will play Wes and goal.
Okay.
Definitely. I think he will. I think he was saying today, he says Rossiter's close. But he's another one that's supposed to play today in that game. Macaulay is close as well to getting back to full game fitness. Whether he'll maybe get a few minutes.
How's Ryan Jack's fitness?
I didn't notice him saying about Ryan Jack, to be honest. The only ones he said was close was, from memory, was Macaulay. He says Macaulay and Rossiter is very close, Gresta as well. And obviously Dorrance, because he got 30 minutes. So, but he didn't mention Jack Cushie.
Stevie's got to say that John Eustace might get a game.
But do you know what's really pleasing, guys?
Fair there, Bridgie. 10 days away.
10 days away. No far away.
What's really pleasing, guys? I mean, we're all sitting here waxing lyrical and that, but in seasons going by, we could never make changes like this. It was the same old every game, wasn't it? Yeah. With some of the and I'm not going to call them rubbish. These guys played for Rangers and that, but some of the players we had on the bench and that, and we were just going game to game. But we're all sitting here tonight and we're saying, look who we can change for. And we're not changing rubbish, bringing rubbish players in. We're bringing good players in to replace the guys we want to rest. And that is a massive positive for us now. That's fantastic that we can say we can bring these players in that are going to perform for Rangers. And we know, watching them every week, that they're decent players, more than decent. And that's what is fantastic about this.
Well, I think there's the potential. I'm not saying it's going to be the midfield, but there's the potential the midfield on Wednesday, if everybody's fit, could potentially have been Jack, Ajaria, Dorrance, Middleton and Gresta. Right? Yeah. That is not a weak midfield by any stretch of the imagination. You know, we're back four of Barisic, Worrell, say Katic, and McCrory, if you wanted to rest Tav as well. You know, that is not a weak back four. You know, so you know that's the kind of the strength of the squad that we're now starting to see. I'm not saying Stephen Gerrard's going to do that, but that's the strength of the squad that you're starting to see, and that's only outfield players, regardless of whether it's Ford or McGregor.
That's a good point you make, Cushy. But I tell you what it does, though. It kind of points to the fact that we're a wee bit light up front now, though, doesn't it?
Yeah,
you know? It's something possibly something that we could be looking at for January, I would think. You know, because there's going to be a second half of the season, which is going to be a long, hard season, as I've said before. I really do. If we get an injury to Lafferty or Morelos, we're in a wee bit of trouble. So that seriously, I think that's got to be looked at in January.
Well, I think if Sadiq is not the answer, someone touched on it earlier on. It may well be that we cut his loan spell short and just say it's not working. You know, I would imagine that his parent club are asking Rangers if the guy's getting any game time, and if he's not getting any game time, it might be better for the boy to find another club to loan out to in January rather than just sitting on a bench in Scotland all winter. Because I don't think anybody really wants to do that. You know, so and then we've got the opportunity then to bring in someone else who's actually going to contribute. So you know, it's not doing anybody any good having Sadiq just sitting there if he's not going to be contributing and we don't fancy him.
I would agree with you on there. I agree with you there, Cushy. Absolutely right. Absolutely right.
I was reading somewhere, Cushy, that Roma actively sends somebody there every other week to have a look at Sadiq.
Every other Saturday they send somebody.
That's a good tune, mate. Aye. Every other Saturday, aye. So there you go. They actually having progress reports on Sadiq, and that's happening every other week. So I don't know.
There can't be much to write about in the report, you know. Exactly. But if he's not getting any, you know, if he's only playing 40, you know, I'm reading the match report in the game today against Motherwell that they played, you know, and he went off at half time, and get subbed for Dapo Mabudi, and that boy, as I say, that boy come on and scored a hat trick, you know. So you know, how do you? The point I'm trying to make is how can you say, right, Sadiq, you're ready now, I'm going to throw you in against Ayr when a boy that's coming on at 17 is completely outshining you in terms of goals, you know. So I don't know. I think unless he suddenly starts making a big push for the first team, you know, and his performances in the reserves games and the training really starts to improve, I don't see him figuring much for us at all. But the issue is, obviously, and the boys have touched on it as well, we've only got Morelos and Lafferty up front. You know, if one or, heaven forbid, both of them get injured, then you know, we would be really, really struggling. Right. So I think unless this Sadiq boy actually, you know, starts getting his act together for us, I could see a replacement him, at least one replacement for him coming in January.
I think
obviously, if you're writing his report for yesterday, Jimmy, you would say he was all over the pitch.
He covered every blade of grass, aye, he did, aye.
I think what worries me a bit about Sadiq is the fact that it already seems obvious to me that Steven Gerrard doesn't fancy him, because he's just. I think would he get a run out in one of the friendlies, didn't he? And I think that's about all I've seen of this boy so far.
Wigan, wasn't it?
Wigan, aye. So, I mean, you bring a boy out for Roma, they must have, you know, liked what they saw of him and the reports and stuff. They went into the reports and everything before they bothered to bring him out on loan. They bring him out on loan. You know, we're now almost into October and we haven't seen anything of him. I think it's kind of obvious that Steven Gerrard, I don't know whether is it him personally, they don't like the way he trains, they don't know. You know, do they not really fancy him much now? I don't really know what it is, you know. I think it's being so light up front to have a forward there that we're not willing to, you know, to give some game time to. I think that tells you a lot, really.
I think so. I mean, the one is only but you. No, we're not going to call him a bad egg, but he's only but you who's no done anything. He's no done.
I'm not going to call him a bad egg, but he's a bad egg.
Didn't
say that, Joey.
Don't get me started. Because when I start, I'll be gone. Right, so
don't tell him your name, Pike.
Right. All the players that the gaffer and Mark Allen's brought in so far, he's probably, you would say, the worst one of them all. And that's no bad considering the amount of players that were brought in. So, unfortunate for him, the gaffer doesn't fancy him. And that's unfortunate because Wigan and Bury come on against.
That's correct. He was on against both of them, yeah.
Aye, and we're sitting there and somebody it's just remarked, no, he's just like a big black Ted McMinn, you know, the legs are all over the place. Like big sticks of licorice banging about. No. A guy said behind me, I says, aye, well, fair dues and that, but I've not seen it. I can say that.
I think we've also got to remember how young he is. I think he's only 21, isn't he?
So Morelos, though.
I know, but
well, I know he's just turned 22, but he was 21, wasn't he? Earlier in the season.
Aye. But I mean, obviously, we've signed him for Roma. That's the problem. You always think these boys are going to be.
Aye, yeah.
He's going to have to do something very quickly, Oxtear, because time is marching on, and if he isn't in our first team and getting a regular, at least on the bench regularly, then come Christmas time, he's got to go for his own sake.
I think he will, Bridge. Yeah. I'm telling you, I think in January, I think we'll go to Roma and say, look, this is not working out. I think he'll go back in January. If it comes January time and he's not contributed in any way, I don't see any point really in having them there.
Well, obviously, I hope the boy does it, but
My boy Graham says to me today, he says, no, if we hadn't had a pushed for Big Lafferty and where would we have been? We'd have been left with Fred and Big Sadiq.
Yeah.
And that's frightening. Thinking, what you guys are all saying is perfectly correct. If we do get an injury to anybody up front and we've got to bring Sadiq in, but imagine if we only had Fred and Sadiq up front. He's not done anything.
Be far in Europe, would we?
We wouldn't be anywhere, mate. We're just, so obviously we've got Big Lafferty and that's been great. But we need to. If he's not going to perform, is he due a chance on Wednesday? Of course he is. He's a Rangers player, and we're all going to support him. But he needs to start doing it now, because I don't know the conditions. Obviously, he's loan. Can we just let him go back in January, or is it a signed deal for a season? We don't know that. No, the gaffers are going to tell us that publicly. But we need to actually go in January and get somebody else in, and hopefully up till then nothing happens. I mean, we're talking about injuries and that. Big Lafferty and Morelos, if they get any sort of long-term injury, we're FU. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, we can't have
indeed,
that.
If someone comes in and buys Morelos just for saying sake, if we lose Morelos in any way, shape or form, we could be in a couple of problems,
But that's how we've got ourselves in a good position. I've got to keep them big Ulster, because if that did come in and it's money you can't turn down, the club's job's to get somebody in the door before he goes out. Cushy.
Correct.
Well, I think the way things are going this season, we are come January, fingers crossed, we are going to be challenging for this title. I think it would just have to be ridiculous money to sell Alfredo Morelos, because he's fundamental to us winning the title, I think, this year. And I think without him, then we seriously lessen our chances of doing that. I mean, you look at his performance yesterday. I think I've been a big fan of Alfredo Morelos anyway. And even when he was going through his kind of bad spells, I was always backing him. But for me, I think he's fundamental to us challenging for this title this year. I don't see us signing unless you. And I'm not talking just 10 million. I think if you were in our board and we were challenging for the title and you sold Alfredo Morelos for 10 million, and then we lost the title, for example, to a point or 2 points at the end of the season, your life would not be worth living.
You'd emigrate, wouldn't you?
Exactly. So I think, I think now, yes, he is almost indispensable to us, and it would have to be, you would have to be approaching the, real funny money, 18 to 20 million for him, for us to even consider it. I think times have moved on for the club in a very, very short period of time. I think the money that we're dragging in for the Europa campaign means that we are in absolutely no position that we need to sign him. We are still going to be. There's still the potential for us to get out of this group and get the money that we get for that. But we have still made an awful lot of money from this European campaign, and I don't think the club is in a position where we need to actually look at selling Alfredo Morelos for 8 million or anything like that. And I think the Gerrard factor means that I don't think the boys going to particularly want to move on anyway. Whereas under Murty, I think he was probably looking for a way out. But where we are at the moment, I think we are in a totally different place and a totally different environment from where we were even 3 or 4 months ago. But Alfredo Morelos is fundamental to us, I think, winning this championship if we're going to go ahead and do that. So I wouldn't be selling him full stop in January.
It's a good point you made about the finances there, because there's no way the board would have factored in the money for the Europa League. They just wouldn't have done that at the beginning of the season, because nobody thought we would have got into the group stages, and that's been a huge boost financially. And it will allow the board, they're quite right, Cushy, to turn around and say, and Stephen Gerrard's already said it in an interview, don't bother phoning. If you're not going to come in with a serious offer for the guy, don't bother. He says, because he's no for sale as far as we're concerned. I don't see him going anywhere in January. I don't think he's absolutely fundamental to how you play right now. And he's such a huge part. We saw that with his performance yesterday, magnificent performance for him yesterday, done everything right all over the park for me yesterday. And he's such a huge part of the way we play. I think as far as and then you've got the jerseys as well. They're now on sale. There's a big wad of money will come in for that. Everything's looking really good financially at the moment. You've got the share issue. All this is all looking great. We don't need to go selling players the way we did in previous seasons. And I don't see Alfredo going anywhere until at least next summer. And only then, as you say, if it's really, if it's a kind of offer that you can't knock back, because you well said, mate, I agree with you.
Ghoster.
I can't really add much on to what the two boys are saying. I think they're right. The manager's already said he's a major part of the squad. Unless someone, is offered major, big money, not to even bother picking up the phone. I think the manager will have the choice. It'll be his decision whether he stays or goes. I just can't see it happening. Definitely not in January, because even if you were to get 15 million, just whatever it is, an offer in January, it's trying to spend that money and get a striker in January to come in and do the same job. That's really hard to do, because people don't want to let go of their best players, especially at that time of the season. They'll only really let go fringe strikers, and if you want to go and win titles, that's not going to work for us. I would like to see us maybe adding another striker in to help the two that's already there, because I just don't think Big Sadiq's up there, unfortunately. But he may change my mind, but what I've seen so far, he hasn't really impressed. So no chance he'll sell Morelos in January. Not a hope.
The issue, I think, is bringing in another forward. Is if I was a forward and I was going to sign for Rangers, I would be saying, who's your first choice? At the moment, it's got to be Alfredo Morelos. Right? So if you're going to sign for us, you want to sign for us knowing that the second or third choice, because we don't really play with two up front. So unless he changes how he's going to play and puts another forward up there, and gives a new forward coming in a guarantee that he's going to be playing up front in a two, then we're in a little bit of a sticky situation, I think, in terms of actually bringing someone of quality in. It would have to be, I think, a direct replacement for Alfredo if he was going to move on, because I just don't see someone coming in wanting to be second or third string. It's a kind of good position to be in, because Morelos is playing so well and he's so fundamental to how we play. I think that that's good for us as a team. But if you're bringing in someone else with a view to strengthening that position, and he's not going to replace Alfredo Morelos, how good a player is that boy going to be?
Is that not where maybe you could possibly look at a loan, though, for a 6-month loan, if I had the second half of the season, Cushy? There's a possibility there, you could go looking for a good loan somewhere. Somebody, as you say, who's just on the fringe of a squad, maybe not getting just enough game time, but they're a good player, I'd possibly look down south for something like that, maybe for the second half of the season. No to sell Alfredo, obviously, just to bolster the striking options a wee bit.
But you think that would improve our goal scoring, would it? Because I was worried where the goals were going to come from when Alfredo was on a dry spell, but we're getting goals all over the pitch now.
Well, we touched on that in the pre-match show against, I think it was Dundee. Bear Down Under brought that up. He was a wee bit worried before the game. He said, he was wondering where the goals were going to come from. I think against Dundee, I don't think we had a striker on the bench, if I remember right, against Dundee. So anyway, he was saying, we were kind of wondering, he was wondering where the goals were going to come from. And I said, well, look, it's incumbent upon people like James Tavernier, who knows how to score a goal, to contribute. It's incumbent upon the midfielders to get into the box and start contributing. And you saw that against Dundee, and you saw it yesterday. So I mean, they've all contributed with goals. You can't ask for any more than that. 5 different goal scorers yesterday. That's something that should keep happening. It shouldn't be left just up to whoever's Alfredo, for instance, or even Big Lafferty or Big Kyle's up front. It's not just up to them to score the goals. It's up to the whole team to contribute as far as scoring goals goes, Ox,
There's been times in the last 2 seasons Messi wouldn't have scored goals for us because we didn't have we couldn't get the ball up the front. Big Ulster.
That's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Well, Big Ulster.
Back again, sorry about that.
All right, on you go, mate. I was just saying that obviously Morelos is playing well and he's working the lines really well, but it's the whole team that's starting to make chances. The wide men are thrown in, obviously, with Boran playing and Tav if they get their deliveries right. We're making chances now and everything's no far on the strikers.
Exactly. Jimmy made a good point earlier in the show as well. Even the likes of Kent, the amount of chances Kent have. As you say, Candias scored himself a goal, 5 different goal scorers, and that's something that you need. I think that's the problem was maybe the tail end of last season. The results were going down for us because Morelos was in a bit of a bad place, and when your main striker isn't on it, and that we didn't have the quality and squad to be honest to look for other players to come and grab you goals. It's all changed now. We've got people. Artfield scored in Europe. You've got Lafferty as well when he comes on. He's proved he can score a few goals for us in Europe and in the league. You've got Kent. You've got Grezda when he comes in. You've got Tav as well. You've got so many options, and it's taking the pressure off Alfredo as well. But especially his game yesterday was absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed watching him. So it is especially live because nobody obviously you're watching the TV, but you see a lot more when you're at the actual game. I thought he was fantastic, and especially when he went out wide in the right the odd time as well, and some of his play was fantastic, and he was making chances for other players. So it's good to see we're in a good place. Hopefully that continues.
Can I come in, Ox?
When you go, mate.
I'd like to agree 100% with Ulster there as far as Morelos is concerned. His play was exceptional yesterday. And, we didn't see the greedy Alfredo trying to score every goal, every chance, take a shot and all that nonsense. He was part of the team. And maybe a wee switch came on yesterday. A beautiful interplay with him and Tavernier. Maybe the switch came on then. He realised he can do far better play by being part of the team, a real big part of the team. And he showed it in the second half. I thought he was just outstanding. His play was wonderful. He was bringing people in and he was part of, shall we say, an assistant through goals as well as he scored his own goal. So you can't ask for much more than that. Wonderful to watch. He really, really dragged the ball all over. Dragged the St Johnstone players all over the place. Wonderful. Great. So I like to agree with Ulster on that. He was superb.
I think with Alfredo. I think with Alfredo as well. I think we're going to have to put his body language and his facial expressions a bit to one side because he was absolutely. He was obviously enjoying himself yesterday, right on the park with the flicks and all that stuff. But his face was still tripping him every time you see him. So I think we're just going to have to realise that that's how the boy plays his football, and that's just the way it goes. And just not expect him to be all smiley and cuddly, because that's just not the way he plays his football, But I would rather see him play. I would rather see him play like that yesterday, and his face tripping him, and him playing poorly and he's all smiley.
Aye. Well said.
I just think it's going to take a phenomenal amount of money to prize him away for Rangers, and we'll maybe start at 20 million, if that's what they want to come in. No, but let's be honest, guys. There's some there that other side there that went for 19 million, and Fred's getting all the headlines now, and I just think that Stevie G and Gary Mack have had a good word in his ear, and I've told them what they're expecting him and what they think he can achieve. And I don't think for any minute he would leave Rangers in January unless it was the phenomenal amount of money that Rangers could never turn down. But he's playing. I totally agree there. I mean, his demeanour on Sunday was totally different for the Fred that we've seen the last few games. Now, when the pass to Lafferty, 100% before he would have had a go at goal there, and we'd all been shouting the ball. He should have passed the ball. But when he got the ball, he just rolled it to the side to a big laugh, and then Laugh just passed it into the net. Yep, he's got one of the wee faces, that you would think he's always going to be moaning. Never seems to have a smile all the time. But who does smile all the time? But hey, he'll not leave Rangers in January unless there's a big phenomenal amount of money. I agree with Cushy. I think it was Cushy said, I think if we can't afford to buy or whatever way, I think we should look down south or whatever and look to see getting a recognised striker, somebody who, not just a guy for a championship team that is up and coming, a recognised player to come in and help Fred and Big Laugh for the hard graft that's going to be happening come the winter season, end of the season, because I just think that it could be a bridge too far for us if one of the guys get injured.
Jimmy, can I just ask a question? Would anybody have a second thought on bringing back Cummings to Rangers? We'll get far better players in the team. You think Cummings would fit in, or would it be a bridge too far for him?
Well, I'm going to use an old Scottish word. I wouldn't touch him with a key stick.
Right, okay, pal.
Yeah.
No, it's just a thought.
No, I just think he believes in his own hype, Cummings, and it's not a player I would touch at all. I just think Sorry, on you go, mate.
No, I was just going to say he never covered himself in glory at all.
No.
The chances he had at Rangers there.
I'm going to disagree with both of you here, I'm afraid, guys. I don't think Cummins got a fair crack in the whip under Murray.
I'm saying that he only got a few games in reality. So he never actually covered himself in glory, and he never really got the chances to do so. And we know he's a really good player. We do know he's a really good player. So that's why I'm asking, would anybody take the chance and maybe go and get him? If indeed the thing ever came up that Alfredo Morelos was going to leave. That's what I'm meaning.
I think the team's improved since he left, and I don't think he's good enough to get in the team.
Thanks, Cushy. I was just took words out of my mouth. I was just about to come in and say that. I just think
you call that a script, Jimmy.
You're just ganging up. You're just ganging up.
I just think that he's no somebody we want at Rangers. No, he had his wee time there and all the rubbish about the tattoo and the mouth and joker and all that. And I just don't like the guy at all. I just don't think whether he's been good enough chances at Rangers when he was there. Nah, for me, he's not the type of player I like to see play at Rangers. I'm happy we've got with Big Laugh and wee Fred, but I would like to see us bring somebody in. But certainly for me, would never be Derek Cummings.
You wouldn't like him then? I'll
come off that fence, Jimmy, will you?
I think, if I'm being honest, that ship's sailed at the moment.
Yeah, that's the question you've got to ask yourself. I think so. But I have to say, I agree with Rudy that I don't think he actually got what you could call a real crack. I think the players that we've got in the team now and the way we play and the passes that come into the box, Cummings might just be the one that could sniff the goals out. But you never know. You never know.
You never know. But for me, we're all here to give our own opinions and it's good that we can do that. But for me, I don't like him.
Who would you like to see then, Jimmy?
I don't know who. Well, there was a guy there that and I know it's a way it was. I'd like to see some, and I know you might laugh. See somebody like Jermaine Defoe, if we could have afforded somebody like him, an out-and-out striker, somebody who's a proven striker. For me, Cummins isn't what we're looking for. Look, let's not kid ourselves on, guys.
They're talking huge money there, though, Jimmy.
We are talking huge money, but we are where we are now, and we're a progressive club now, and we've managed to build a good pool of players, more than a good pool of players, some of them excellent players. But I just think that if we do have to go and replace Fred in January, we need to be upgrading, right? If we got 20 million for Fred, we need to spend that 20 million because he's worth that. But if we were going to bring, and I don't think he'll go, and I honestly think that will happen, that he'll still be with us in January. But I still think we need to bring somebody in to cover for them. Would Cummins be the cover? For me, no. Guys on here a couple of weeks or a month ago said about Big Louis Moult. He's language in the reserves down there again. Would he be somebody you would have in reserve as backup? Would you guys think that he'd be an acceptable guy?
I certainly would. I would have gone and got him for 500 grand off a Motherwell.
Aye.
That's exactly what I would have done, Jimmy. The stat that sticks out for me, the only striker in Scotland to score 2 or more goals against Rangers, Celtic, Aberdeen, Hearts and Hibs. And at the time, you should have went and got that boy. He's a battler. He's an old-fashioned centre forward. You put the ball in the box and he'll put it into the back of the net.
Now, what about the best poacher in Scottish football now? Who is it?
Gordon Ramsay.
He's playing against us on Wednesday night.
Aye, the young boy Shankland guy.
Yeah. Worth 200,000.
Oh, why not go for him?
I think, Jimmy, that's a decent shout. My mate said that to me last week. He said that to me last week. He says, couple of $100 grand, you bring that boy in, working under Steven Gerrard and his coaching staff. You've got Lafferty there, you've got Morelos there, who are going to be the first choice strikers. That boy will wait for his chance.
You're not going see the problem we've got, and I'll take this to Cushy and then Bridge. I've seen the boys a Chris Boyd type player, and I've not seen Shankland that often. I think last time I seen him was against us, but he's a natural finisher. But he's not good to work, or he does the daily things like Morelos does. Would they fit into your system? Cushy?
It's a really good point, because you look at Morelos' play yesterday in terms of coming deep, picking the ball up, crossing the ball in for other people to score. He put Kent in the first half. He put him in the second half where he hit the crossbar, and then Arfield eventually scored from it. He was instrumental in an awful lot we'd done yesterday, and not just by sitting up front and waiting the ball to come to him. He dropped deep and created a lot of our play. There's a reason we are talking about Alfredo Morelos now, that we don't need to sell him for 8 million and 10 million quid, etc. That we're looking for more than that, because he brings an awful lot to the team. And I don't think the Cummings that you're talking about brings even remotely as much as Morelos would brings to the team. The trick is finding for every football team is finding a guy that you can buy for 1 million, and then 2 years down the line he's such a good player that you're talking about selling him for the figures that we're talking about on the call here. It's not an easy task. I think we would have to get a lot better service in from the centre and midfield, not just for Candace and Barisic and Kent throwing in balls for the wings, but a lot better service through to a striker and a poacher than you get from the centre of the midfield if you're going to sign that type of player. It's a tall ask, I think, to replace Morelos for us at the moment.
It'll be interesting to see how it pans out, but I think he's there for a couple of years yet.
He looks
contented.
Can I tell you? I think a lot depends on how some of our players perform in the European group stages.
Absolutely.
I think Tav. People will be looking at Tav from his performance against Villarreal and we're thinking that boy's a good player, because he created our first goal. He's obviously got good technique, which a lot of European countries would be looking at. I don't think James Taverna has done himself any harm with his performances against Villarreal, and a captain as well. And well, that's it. And there's a reason for that, I think. And I think that'll be interesting to see how some of our players play against this European opposition. I'll be watching Morelos to see how he gets on in our next European tie against Rapid, because suddenly he has a window of opportunity, and a really, really big stage to show what he can do. And if he starts to perform, his value will skyrocket, and we will actually struggle to keep him. But it all depends how he does in these next 5 games.
But Cushy, we've got to be pleased with that. And no, I'm not pleased about what possibly being sold, but we've got to be pleased that he's performing the way he is. You know, and that's why that these other clubs are going to be showing interest, and that just shows you how far that we have come. No, because some of the players that we've had in the last 7 years, no, some of them you would honestly open the curtains to watch, and that's me saying that as somebody who sits at Ibrox every Saturday. You know, I totally 100% agree with you're saying, Cushy, but that shows that how far we've come, that we're sitting here saying, hey, by the way, if the big man performs here and he performs there, we could end up losing him. That is fantastic, and it's saying right.
Absolutely, it's a great position to be in, and I think if he performs really well in these groups, the rest of these group stages games, there is a real chance that we actually get out of the group. And if we do that and we start going to the latter stages, a lot of people who were a bit dubious about putting in bids for Morelos or not willing to pay the money will say, well, the boy can do it against Villarreal, you know, a mid-table La Liga team. You know, he can do it against Rapid. You know, so it's a good position to be in. We just need to make sure if that transpires that we get the money that we want, because we have to replace him if we're going to be challenging for the title.
That money as well, whatever we get from Cushy, has got to be spent, because the money that to replace Morelos, to buy a striker that does what Morelos does, is going to cost, and it's going to cost big money. There's very few players you'll pick up for what we go. We were lucky getting Morelos for that money, because we will all eventually make a bomb in him, regardless of whether he goes the end of this season or the end of next season. We'll make a fortune on him. So to replace that is going to cost. That's going to cost.
But remember, of course, guys, that Morelos never got playing the last time, so he's not actually played in the group stages yet.
That's right. Aye.
So the thing is,
I think he'll be champing at the bit to get out
so,
there, turning a performance.
I think he'll be a star in Europe. I think it's just starting to hit him now, and his confidence is very high. I think he'll be a big star for us in Europe, and I don't think Tavernier done himself any harm at all. And if just what you said, Cushy, if we can get a couple of performances, particularly at home here, a couple of performances in there, and get some victories, my goodness gracious, are the rest of Europe going to look at some of the players we've got, and they'll be interested. Tavernier was just wonderful the other night there, and seriously, he's look. 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, maybe even 6 months ago, people would have sold him and take the highest bit of money just to get him out the door, because it didn't look as if he was doing it. And you look at him now, my goodness gracious, this man has done great stuff.
You look at the second half against Villarreal. He had a smashing game, so he did.
Fabulous.
And then a weekend there, he cracks in a brilliant free kick, sets up Morelos for assists Morelos with a goal, and then cracks another brilliant free kick off the bar, which was just a couple of inches away from being his second goal. There's already been interest at the beginning of the season for Tav. See, by the end of this season, if he performs in Europe and he performs, in the league the way he started this season, there's going to be people looking at Tav. It's as simple as that.
And the saddest thing, guys, I'm not being funny when I say this, and I'll probably hope it doesn't happen, but if we get any decent distance in the Europa League, there'll be people looking at our manager, 100%.
There's nothing we can do about that, though, is there?
No.
That's it. I mean,
that's very much you can do, but
just the same as the players that, the likes of Tav and Fred and other players we've got who are now going to show up well. Big Katic, Goldson, all these players, Barisic, if they keep performing the way we know they can in the Europa League section, then obviously there's going to be other clubs coming in. Maybe a lot big clubs that we never thought would come to see pick Rangers players. And unfortunately for us, it's going to be Stevie G, could be on the radar as well. And, our success in a sort of way could be a downfall for us, and that we could lose a lot of good players. But we've had that in years gone by, and we've done it. This new is the era that we're trying to build again, and we've built it more quicker and faster than any's ever thought would happen. and we're taking the good
We're
way.
certainly at- we're
Build it
certainly at a
and they
level
will
we
come.
never dreamt of.
Anyway,
Absolutely.
gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening. Bridge, you'll need to get a battery in that cloak in the kitchen. Bridgeman.
Well, what can I say? A marvellous night tonight. Wonderful discussions with all the guys. Great input from everybody. Superb. And I just say this to everybody. To all the Rangers fans all over the world, in particular Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one of us, please, 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 just keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need us. Keep it going.
I thank Bridge, Cushy, Fox for his brief appearance, JFK, Rudy Bear, and Big Ulster for taking the time to join us here on Rangers Radio. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night between 9 and 11 talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Fox.
Rangers, Rangers, easy, okay. Okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Okay. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, Rangers, easy, okay. Okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Okay. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers, okay. Won't you come and cheer us? Help the boys along. White and blue, coming through with a song. Oh, Rangers, Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers, okay. We'll be there to do it, do it if we can. Win the cup, hold it up in our hand. Oh, Rangers, Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. Football is the game that we play all over the world. Rangers, Rangers, easy, okay. Look out, everyone, we're on our way. We can show the world how to play, for we are Rangers, okay.